Recording?
Yeah.
You recording that shit?
Wait.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What is up, gentle people?
And gentle peoples, all of the gentleness.
We're the Brothers Murph!
We are!
I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
You gotta still state that because sometimes people don't know who's who. And you know what? That's okay too.
That's fair.
That's fine. We went to Meeplecon last week.
We did. Yeah, it was a couple days ago. We got back. You got back safe and sound.
Yeah, 5.5 hours of semi-traffic driving. That's the old LA for you.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, Meeplecon was great. This is our second year at Meeplecon now.
Yeah, Meeplecon's just a small local convention in Las Vegas.
Yep.
It's about 600 people. I mean, it's really tiny.
Yeah, it's not big at all. It's one room, really. One big room.
One big convention room in a hotel off the strip. And yeah, so we went. This is our second year in a row, and this was actually the first convention we ever went to.
Yeah, Meeplecon is kind of it's weird for being such a small con and not even our local con.
Yeah.
It is kind of it's kind of a big deal for us.
Yeah.
Because this is really where everything started at Meeplecon.
Yeah.
Because last year when we went, we were just two random dudes no one cared about, no one would speak to us, you know.
I'd argue that that's still the same.
Yeah, that's accurate
to a degree. Yeah, we were just board game players,
two Joes, you know.
And we went with a third friend. And I mean, I guess you heard about this. I'm sure the Dice Tower guys talked about it, and that's how we decided. Hey, let's go to this. We like board games. There's a place where you can play board games for a whole weekend, and we can oh, Tom Vassel's over there. You know what I mean? Like that was really the whole impetus for going, and it was amazing. Like, I think it was the perfect convention to go to first because it is so small. It is like 98% focused on just playing games. That is it. There's
not
just
really
a game library and like space to play.
Yeah,
a couple of vendors, and you just buy their thing and then you play it. And it's just about playing games. And like Tom, Sam, and Z are there, and Derek and Kenny were there this year as well, and they're just playing games as well. And it's like mega chill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, but it was the first time, you know, we got to meet Tom very, very briefly, Sam very, very briefly. We got to play a couple games with Z, which was great. And again, it's like meeting at that, you know, that point. Now we're with them, we're here. But at that point, it was very much like meeting celebrities. Like I had watched the Dice Tower for a couple of years, and I remember when I first saw Tom, he was like walking. It was like midnight on like Thursday. They just got out of Gamma, and I was just like freaking out. And our friend Billy, Mike wasn't there. Our friend Billy was like, go talk to him. I was like, hold on. He's like, just go. He's a dude. Just go talk to him. He was like, because he didn't watch any of the Dice Tower stuff, so he didn't get the big deal. But it was a huge deal to me. And then like a month after Meeplecon, Tom put out like a general call saying like, hey, if you want to be on the Dice Tower, like we need more contributors. Send in like an audition video. And we sent in Thrift Store Throwbacks and Adventures in Board Gaming. Yep. And we got on, and it started off this thing. We're like, this will be fun to do, like every once in a while, and then it's turned into what you see here today.
Yeah, and I think that our content would have did speak for itself. But one thing that was nice is Nick was like, "Hey, we were at Meeplecon, this and that," and Tom was like, "Oh yeah, you guys were gambling stuff. I remember meeting you guys."
Yeah.
Even though it was a brief thing, like. That was...
kind of our avenue in,
You know what I mean? Like, we already had... There was some reference point there for Tom, and fast forward 52 weeks now, and we're here, and, like, it goes... Because, like, we did not go into Meeplecon with any kind of agenda. It had never even occurred to us that we'd ever make a video based on board games at all.
Yeah.
Now, in retrospect, like... It makes sense that we are where we are because we're just creative, silly people, but it's wild. So it was kind of like going back was
it's
like a spiritual milestone. You know what I mean? Like we knew that we're going to see the guys again, except for now, like they're going to know who we are. They're going to recognize us. Although I think we both had some sort of fear that like they're going to cold shoulder us.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't know why. Like there's no. I just want to make that clear. It's not because they come off that way at all. It's just like the whole.
Yeah, I think I was more worried than you. I feel like I was just like, no, they're gonna be like, oh hey, and then they're never.
And I was like, I don't think that's the case. Like,
well, it's just the online world is weird because we've talked to these people fairly often. We're on the channel, but we don't really met them when we knew who each other were.
Yeah,
and it's just an odd thing, you know? And so...
The internet's weird, man.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing. So, Meeplecon is a big deal to us, but you don't care about any of that.
Who cares about the past?
You want to know how it was this year.
Right.
So, let's get into some of the games we played.
What did we play, even? Well, we played a lot.
We played a decent amount, yeah.
Decent amount. I mean, it kept us busy.
Yeah, it was surprising. We actually we played a decent amount of new stuff, but I feel like in conventions like this, we always end up playing a ton of new stuff.
Yeah.
We ended up playing a lot of games we've played before, because I feel like we were showing people a lot of games,
but
you know?
I think that's kind of cool, because it shows, like, a progression in our board game hobby and everything. You know, it's like, oh, now we're the ones who know, like, a lot of games.
We're the ones with some of the knowledge, totally.
That was actually kind of cool.
It was cool.
I didn't mind that at all, especially because we got to play some games at player counts that we hadn't played before.
Yes.
Like, we played a 4-player game of Dinosaur Island. I've never done that. Nick did that
I had,
once. So that was really cool. We got to play Viticulture with Tuscany at 4 players. That was really cool. We don't get to do that very often. I got destroyed. Nick really took that game and made it his bitch.
We got to play Azul again at 4 players, and again, it's one of those games, man. Pisses me off because I can't figure out why it's good, but it is, and it's just, playing it again, we're just like, man, this game is so good.
So good, man. What else did we play? We played this game called Dungeon Draft with Tom, which was like this little quick dungeon drafting game. You're trying to draft these things. That was fun. It was
a little generic fantasy. It's super light, not heavy at all.
By Upper Deck.
And that was okay, yeah. We got to meet, one of the best parts, we got to meet some of the people from Twitter or from Twitch or from here. And we got to meet up with our girl Sakura. And we got to play, what did we play? We played Subterra with them, which was a really interesting, kind of like,
Pandemic in a cave-ish.
Pandemic in a cave where it's kind of like a dungeon crawl where you're exploring the caves. You go out, you're flipping over tiles. It's kind of like Escape from the Temple one where you're flipping over stuff.
Player powers.
Yeah, and it was good. It was very interesting. I want to play it again. We kind of skated through it. There was some tough spots, but it's a very, very hard game, and we won. I'm not gonna say easily, but we won without too much trial and tribulation.
Yeah.
So that was a fun little game.
Yeah, that's a game that, like, all the art on it has, like, UV responsive ink and stuff, so you can, like, hit it with a black light or something, and it all kind of glows. Yeah, so I'd love to play, like, actually in the dark with a couple of black lights.
Yeah.
So, like,
that'd be cool.
That'd be kind of neat.
And we also got to play Pie Town with them, so we played a 4-player game of Pie Town, which was good.
It's good. I think 3's the sweet spot with that game.
I think 2's okay. 2's great. 4 is okay. I think 3 is going to be like the money spot with that.
Still really fun, quick, easy worker placement game. We also played a game called Tortuga, which is from this like bookshelf series. I can't remember the company right now, but all of their games they look like books when they're closed, so it looks like it's on a bookshelf.
They're on Kickstarter right now, as of March 19th, 2018.
And it's this really cool game where you're playing you're either French or British, and you don't know right away who's aligned with who, and you're on these pirate ships. You're on the Flying Dutchman and the Jolly Roger, and you're trying to like get treasure from a Spanish galleon, and you're trying to figure out who's on your team, who's not on your team by playing these cards and everything. So we played it. It was really fun. It can go up, I think, a pretty high player count. We played it at 4 players. I would really love to play that like 6 players, where now 6. Like there's some interesting stuff. And if you ever play with an odd number, there's a Dutch character who's like this wild card, and all they want is for everything treasure-wise to be split evenly between the British and the French. So that would add a really interesting, like, trying to suss out, like, who here does not belong, because they're going to be helping the French, but then they might be helping the British. And so you got to figure, like, who are you, man? You know, but it was a really fun game. Got to play a lot with them. We got to get lunch with them, which was excellent. Went to the Hofbrauhaus.
Hofbrauhaus.
Big pretzels, and I had some currywurst.
That is right. It was a wonderful German restaurant.
It was tasty.
We got to play a game called The Mind. They're a woman named Jess, who is the board game girl on board game _girl on Instagram. And she was talking incessantly about this game called The Mind. And I kept being like, she kept talking about how amazing it is. This was making everyone sit down and play it with her. Z and Crystal and all these people. Everyone was required to sit down and play this game with Jess. And I wanted to play it. I was down playing, but it kept not working out. Our schedules. And finally, like right before we were leaving, essentially, she finally roped us down into playing it. And it's a very interesting, super good game where you are all on the same team, and everyone has a series of cards. There's I think 8 rounds. The first round, round 1, everyone gets 1 card. The round 2, everyone gets 2 cards, so on and so forth. But the cards are just numbered 1 through 100.
That's it.
And so when you have a card in your hand, and without speaking, someone has to play the lowest card of the 4 cards you have. So everyone starts like, because you don't know what everyone else has.
And
so
all you can do is look at each other.
You can't speak. You can make kind of like a kind of like,
yeah, without being like, I have.
But if you have like number 30, you're like, is that the lowest card? That can't
could
be.
There's a lot of numbers above it.
Yeah, you're like, there's only 4 cards this entire game. Like, is this the low? So you start going, but then someone else starts going. So you're just like, oh, what do they have?
Yeah.
And you're just like, and
all this tension.
And you think it would not? It works so well. It was so much fun.
The thing that was interesting is like that's an improv exercise.
Yeah,
they do called blind count off, and what you do is you it works well in a group of 8 or 10 or so.
Yeah,
and everyone closes their eyes. You sit in a circle and you just listen. And you feel when is it right to say 1. And the goal is to be only ever have one person speaking at a time. Yeah. So you go 1, and then someone else feels like, oh, it's been too long, 2. And if everyone ever speaks at the same time, you go back around. It's literally that in a game, and it was like really fun and stressful, but like not in a bad way. It was just like interesting, like all this and that, and we got a little over halfway through. We got into round 5.
Yeah,
which I think like for the first time is a win.
It was good. Yeah, it was tough. Really hard, but it's super
really fun. I want to play that again. I want to track it down. It's getting printed by Pandasaurus Games in the U.S. at some point, so we'll see. But that was an interesting game.
We have to play High Society with Z Garcia and Chris.
That might have been the highlight of the whole damn.
That was. We'll get into our final thoughts then, but I think I probably agree.
Talk about it. We played Decrypto, which was a really fun kind of take on Password, where you have 2 teams and each have 4
kind of code
words.
namesy.
Code namesy. You have 4 words, but the words always stay the same. And what you're doing is you're giving clues in different sequences. So you're doing clues for words 1, 3, and 4. The next person that goes, it's 2, 1, 3, and then 3, 1, 2. Whatever. And so you're giving clues, and the other team you're writing down like a word bank of clues, that pertain to whatever word, and trying to figure out like what do all these clues have in common, and trying to make a guess at the word. It's not important that you know the word itself, that, it's Grand Canyon. You just need to know that, like, these clues fit together. So if you hear a clue that you think fits in with this group of clues, you try to guess the sequence that the other team is trying to get their team. It's like this interesting thing. It's kind of tough to explain in terms of how the sequencing works for the game, but it was actually really fun. That was a yellow product.
Yeah, and I did not think I was going to like it, honestly. Because stressful games are kind of hit and miss with me. And I really liked it. It was tough. It was rough, man. It was rough, and we won, which was great.
We did really well, actually. We were on them. They had Z, and they thought they were big and bad. We took them down. Took his ass down a notch.
We also played a little spy game with Z and Crystal. Do you know what that one was called?
I never got the name of it. But it was
little
really
spy
fun.
game. Look it up. Called Little Spy Game. It's on Kickstarter.
Little spy game that Z Garcia likes. Maybe something will pop up.
Yeah.
We played Flatline at 4 players with a representative from Renegade Games, so we got to kind of tell them, like, I like your games a lot. And she was like, thanks. But Steph, you were really cool, so I appreciate you spending some time with us. Golly, that was a lot of what we played. We played a good amount. We played Fox in the Forest briefly, another Renegade game, 2-player trick-taking game.
I played Dungeon Pets with Sam Healy, Ambi, and her husband, Toby.
Played Downforce.
Oh, yeah, we played Downforce.
We played it at 4 players, so we played it for the first time not at the full player count, and it actually went down really well because the interesting thing is, in Downforce, you always race all 6 cars.
That's true.
Now, you're like, well, what if you don't have 6 players? Well, what you do is, people have the option to buy 2 cars.
Yeah.
And at first I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know if it's going to break the game. Agree. But what I did, I was one of the people that bought 2 cars, and I was thinking, like, well, look at it. If I have 2 cars, I can control 2 cars. I have 2 chances of getting in first place or get first, second, and really come up on a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you also spend more money at the start.
Yeah.
So I went for it. I didn't win. I came in second place, and Nick won by $4 million.
Yeah.
And if I paid $4 million for my second car, so I would have tied.
Yeah.
Because that car came in dead last.
Yeah.
I came in first, and I came in last.
Yeah, that's true.
And so there's a really interesting thing of like, oh, you're risking it because you're giving yourself more control, but if the cards don't go your way, you're just out more money. And so it actually really worked at less than 6. I was a little bit like,
I was skeptical too. I'm not gonna lie. I kept being like, I don't want to play this unless I have 6. And then we only got 4 people for it, so we're like, all right, we got to go for it. We can't be like, nope. And
it really worked.
Yeah,
it really worked.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of good games. A decent amount we've played before, but it was pretty darn wonderful.
Yeah.
So let's go into our final thoughts.
Talk about how bad a time we had.
Overall, it was great.
It was awesome. I mean,
so good.
We were talking about, we were kind of wondering, like, how would we be received or something. Not that we were, like, worried that it would be poor, but you wonder how you did. It was actually a really validating trip. Y'all do a great job of that every day, by the way. But it was really neat. There was so many people that came up and talked almost every time. The first thing they mentioned was our podcast. That is like Dan runs it, and we're just lucky to be a part of it. And people love the podcast, and they all had great things to say. They knew jokes. Everyone's like, "You want to play Kingdom Builder?" Which was like awesome that they're on the inside, and can share that with us. That was really cool. And then being able to hang out with like the Dice Tower boys, like right away, it wasn't even like, oh, here's like the boss man. It was just really, it felt like everyone was a peer, and that was just really a neat experience.
Yeah, and that was the difference, like from last year to this year. I mean, the big one was just like last year was very much like looking up to these guys, like they're celebrities. And this year was just like he's a very tall man.
What's up?
But this year was just like, we were just peers, which was cool. It was cool to be peers with these people who are very established in the industry and stuff like that.
Tom and being able to we got to shoot something together. Yeah. We're like, all right, do it. Cool. Cool.
And it's like we had sat down and talked to Z and stuff about like different experiences in like doing this kind of stuff, like board game media. And
Rhino Hero Super Battle as well. So just before we did that.
That's true. Yeah, so I mean, and just like spending late, like my favorite thing was probably just as a whole, like both of the main nights, which was Friday and Saturday night, we were just kind of hanging out, relaxing, playing some games, but just mostly just hanging out, laughing, having a good time. The first night it was us two, Z and Crystal, and we played High Society. The Paisano. And then we played High Society in that spy game. And High Society is like a Reiner Knizia auction game. Yeah. Not like a fun... Well, it's a fun game, but it's not like this is a raucous, fun, good time kind of game.
The game is not going to provide that for you. The game on its own is quite dry.
Yes. I pasted on theme, as all Reiner Knizias are, but we just got talking, because it's a French-themed game. We got talking in French accents, and we were all just dying laughing. Played this game twice. And at one point, Z, I think, was like, this is the funnest anyone's ever had playing this game. Because the game is not like a, ha-ha, let's have a good time. It's just like, it's a fun little auction filler game. And just that, and then the next night, it was us, Paisans,
Chris and Wendy from Meeple Overboard. We had Ambi and her husband, Toby. And we were all, and then Z popped in later and ate some of our pizza.
That's true.
And then sat down to talk.
We were all hanging out. We were playing Rhino Hero and filming some stuff, like Board Game Blitz and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And then we all just kind of sat down, and we ended up talking for like an hour until like 1 a.m., just all sitting in this room talking and stuff. And it was just lovely. Like that was the best parts for me. It's just like getting just late night hanging out.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, try this crazy new game. Just being like, yeah, let's just hang out with some friends, Yeah. It was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I think ultimately we did play a lot of games. We played a lot of games, a lot of new games and everything. But we just had a number of points within the days where we were just hanging out with people. We went out to lunch. We left the con. We went and got lunch with Sakura and her husband, and they were lovely. Yes. And we spent time just chatting with folks while they were eating, and we're all sitting back laughing those late nights and everything. Like that was almost one of the coolest parts about it was all the times where you're not playing games. Well, you're just humaning together,
And that's what I think that the difference between this one and then previous cons was. Nothing to say against the other cons, but this was the con where like the people way outshadowed the games. It's just like every single thing. It wasn't so much the gameplay. It was like getting to hang out and talk to the people. And not that like anyone we've ever met otherwise was just like, oh man, they don't like me. No, it's just like this one. The other ones has usually been about the games. This one was just 100% about the people, and it was lovely.
Yeah, and big ups to Tim and Meepleville as a whole. Everyone that works there and that really organized the whole thing, provide the game library. Again, Meeplecon is cool.
Yeah,
like this is a 600-person con, and the Dice Tower boys go because they, I think, enjoy the vibe that much. It's just relaxed.
Yeah.
There is no like status. There is no pomp and circumstance about it. It's just people hanging out, everyone coming together. It's so easy to hop into a game with anybody. Yeah. Everyone is so welcoming.
Yeah.
And like that is, we got so lucky that was our first con experience. You know Seriously, what I mean? And it's not to say that a lot of cons create bad experiences for people, but like, I mean,
we lucked out, man.
Yeah, it's just about the games and the people and really making connections and like, you know, we're all about that. It's about you felt a sense of community there, and that's what you want with board games. You want to create the sense of community and have it feel welcoming and inclusive. And you know, I felt like Meeplecon really does that well.
I think so too.
You know, it's their 4th year,
Yes, I believe so.
So they're coming up on 5 years next year, and I really hope that they grow and that people check them out because
it's the best.
It's kick-ass, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It really is.
Yeah. Anyway, those are some of our thoughts on Meeplecon. Thanks for hanging out during our ramblings about it. We just had a really great time.
Yeah.
And we also got to mess with Tom, so we'll end with just a little bit of shenanigans with Tom.
Indeed. It was fun times.
Yeah, we just messing around with him, having a good time, which he was in on, by the way. In case anyone's worried, he was like worried that like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm mean at conventions. It was all a big joke.
It was actually
I think that came across. It was his idea, but we were messing with Tom. So we'll leave you with that. Thanks so much, as always, for watching, listening, telling your friends about the podcast, and then coming up and saying hello and sharing your thoughts and your memories, things that make you laugh. That's why we do it. We do it for y'all, and we're just so happy that people out there are listening. You know what I mean? It's really exciting stuff. So
really wonderful.
Until next Meeplecon, we got other cons to go to.
True.
I'm pumped for Dice Tower Con now, bro.
Oh, boy!
Woo! What if Dan's super weird in real life? What if he's not even British?
What if he's Italian?
Oh, snap. We'll find out at Dice Tower Con. Anyway, folks, we're out of here. Cheers. Happy Wednesday to y'all. Peace to you. Look at Tom mingling. There's Tom. There's Tom. Tom! Hey, Tom! You good? All right. Cool. Where's Tom, man? He's right there. He's right there. Let's see. You in it? What are you guys playing?
It's a game.
Is it fun? Are you drafting?
Yeah.
Can I see your hand?
Are you good?
What's that card do? What's that card? That one's so colorful.
Look, there's some secrets here.
These end bumpers are always exactly the same. We're always sponsored by Restoration Games, and we always have funny little videos over here that you can check out that relate to this video. But you know why it's really always the same? Because we live in LA, and it never changes here. It's 85 and sunny every day, including right now. You know it. Check the weather. Middle of the night, don't care. 85!